It's a good win. There's a lot of people. It's like Woodstock, except everybody's got their clothes on.
Don't eat a damn snack.
You're like my wife when you get in space. You just get lost.
It's ahead! Short steps are better than long steps. That's the only time in your life you're going to hear short is better than long. It's ahead!
Welcome back to 614 Headsets. This is episode 99, and we're your spot where strategy meets story. We're three high school coaches committed to bringing you content that's both entertaining and educational. And it was a bit spicy today. Ryan brought a lot of heat today. There's a lot of jabs. Donovan's looking extra scrubby. You know what I mean?
No.
But here we are.
Good today.
Heading in to episode 100 next week. We can't wait. We're not going to say who. We're going to leave it as a teaser. But Ryan secured a legend. We got a legend coming on out of Central Ohio. That's going to be a really good episode. I think Ryan said it's going to be about lessons learned throughout that career in terms of what worked well, what didn't. So excited about that. But if this is your first time watching the show, please be sure to subscribe. Follow us on any one of the social medias at 614 Headsets, or go to 614headsets.com. We would love to have you. Give us a review. Reach out. Let us know what you like. Give us ideas. Reach out with any guest people you have. But when you do that, you help this platform grow. You help football grow, and you help the platform for other coaches and the great things they're doing grow as well. How's Ryan? We need a tennis update. I haven't heard anything in a couple of weeks. How's it going?
We're in it right now. Think of it. Listen to this. Today, our doubles team has officially made it to the city championship and beat last year's double champions today.
Nice.
Are you conference champs?
Hold on, we're not done yet. We're not done yet, Kyle. And then, so later on in the day, we play through whatever. We get to the semifinals of the singles. We get in a rain delay. We have to go back tomorrow at 3:30. I will let you know tomorrow if we have we have doubles in championship, and our singles should be in the championship. He's up 5-3 right now and playing an 8-game pro set, and Donnie doesn't know that. Not Donnie does know what that means, but Kyle has no clue what that means. But and then we'll get to best two out of three tomorrow. Really, tomorrow will be intense. We might be there forever because my number one and Centennial's number one will go back and forth all night. It'll take forever. Just take for absolutely forever.
It'll be like a 3-hour match.
Just they'll be like Deuce.
Yeah.
Add out.
Ryan's legacy in Northland is going to be cemented as tennis coach, not football.
No doubt. 100%.
We're going to build a bronze statue outside the tennis courts for him.
No doubt. It's coming. But at the end of the day, our flag football team is rolling. We got tennis rolling. We got regular football rolling. It's just a lot going on right now. We're just dominating the days.
April flew by, man. I'm in the same. Like my daughter, it's the swim lessons, it's the soccer, it's us doing our things with our teams too. And I looked and I'm like, holy cow, there's 20-some days left in the school year, and it's summertime.
I don't even want to show you how many clothes we have that have just been folded but are just not put. It doesn't even make sense.
It's just I 100% feel you. That's all we've been doing. And the moment I get something clean, I turn around and it's dirty the next day. Like
you did tell me, Sayers, you mentioned it too, but Stout, you were like, you will live and breathe laundry. And I'm like, all the time.
It gets worse. Wait till they figure out how to change their own clothes. Like my daughter, everyone jokes about it. My daughter will go through 7-8 pairs of clothes a day. I literally am about to lock this.
You did mention that she just rolls around in the dirt, or she's doing everything, soccer practice.
Right.
And it's like,
We've been fishing a lot. My daughter, we're keeping a tally for all of spring and summer, how many fish she catches with me or grandpa. We've been doing good. Last weekend was a big one, boys. We brought 5 in.
nice.
Are you
Sunday
eating
morning.
any of these? You don't want to
catch
none of that pond.
No, there are probably mutants coming out of this thing.
Do you know how to do that though? Scale a fish and do all that?
Yeah.
You said it a little too quick. I don't know if I believe you.
All right, come over.
Do you, Donnie?
You said it's catching. No, I don't. No.
I have no clue either.
Yeah.
You haven't even
Kyle
taken
doesn't either. Look at
you
it.
haven't, I do. You haven't taken your son fishing yet, bro. What's wrong with you? I even invited
That's
you.
pretty crazy.
He goes fishing. I don't take him fishing, but he goes fishing.
Glad to know he looks up to a stronger man.
He goes with Pop. I don't go no fishing.
That's good though. That's good. But Donnie, let everybody know what we got coming up here on episode 99.
Episode 99, we've got episode 99 with Coach Board from New Lexington High School. We go through his whole program and program philosophy. We stick a lot through offense, but in a general sense, what his philosophies are with the program, from a tempo, from a practice structure, from a coaching structure when it comes to meetings, things like that. Just because it's offense, I know, Sayers, you were struggling to follow along a little bit, but for those that are not offensive minded, it's a great all-around episode.
Feed the cats too, man. The sprint-based football stuff that's taken over, a lot of teams are doing too. That ate up like half the episode. You did not give that enough justice. We got into the Feed the Cats talk, which I've been wanting to talk about a lot here on season 4, doing episodes. So I was excited to get some info on that.
Yeah,
Sayers thinking to come back. Go ahead.
Good shot,
I saw you.
No, I was just gonna say.
I saw you think about that the whole time
just now, but that was a horrible one. Good try though.
No, but this is great. Coach has a phenomenal program that's on the rise, and it was interesting to hear.
And it's all about the pizza place.
The pizza place.
Don't say spot.
No,
place.
Not pizza spot. The pizza place.
The pizza place. I'm gonna look this place up tonight when I go to bed. But that's for another time. But hey, enjoy episode 99 and download, subscribe, and get ready for episode 100. Man, absolutely excited for tonight. We got Coach Kevin Board on, the head football coach at New Lexington High School. He's a coach that I've had the opportunity to talk to a little bit back and forth on social media. I've talked to some of his assistants on social media. So I'm excited to dive in and see what Coach has in store. He's got a program on the rise. So, Coach, thank you for joining us tonight. And we always like to start off a little bit about, just tell us about yourself. Give us the football life of Coach Board a little bit.
Gotcha. I appreciate you guys having me on. It's always fun to watch you guys and hear what you're doing, and I appreciate what you're doing for the game. But I grew up in a football town where I played for 3 state championships in West Virginia, lost to Catholic school 3 times, lost to another Catholic school in my freshman year on a hook and ladder, last play of the game. Not ideal, but it was winning. It was success. Went to college, played football at West Liberty University. I played football at West Liberty. I stood on the sideline. I knew the plays better than just about everybody, but I didn't play a whole lot. But I had a great experience, learned from a great offensive coordinator in Gary Kroll, who set some national records, had some really good teams while we were there, won the conference and went to the playoffs. Scored 84 in a playoff game once, which is pretty cool. And then got into coaching and teaching. I got a degree in biology education, and then went through that, taught a couple years as an assistant, and then got a head coaching job in Petersburg, West Virginia for 4 years. We went the first winning season in over a decade, first back-to-back winning seasons in 2 decades, and the school's second ever playoff appearance. And then had an opportunity to transition here to New Lex, and just wrapped up my 7th year here. Met my wife here. We've got a family, got 2 kids, 2 boys, 3 and almost 1. So we're in it right now and going through it. But, man, it's a blast, and I tell you, it wouldn't happen any other way.
You're in it. We're all in it. I already feel connected because we're all in this now. Even Donovan's in it now. He's in the trenches.
Donnie's looked more tired every week.
Yeah, Donnie's looking haggard.
Builds. I get the clean-shaven beard, though. No more caveman.
Yeah, you look so rough, dude. Like, I could tell when Coach literally brought up the scored on the last second by hook and ladder, I felt the pain. You could still tell it's a pain that lives with this guy, and I feel it. We all have those moments and things that give us nightmares. But, Coach, man, I'm excited. Let's get into this because we got a lot of things we're going to talk about. This is the Pick 6 segment, 6 random questions for us. Fellas, let's not take forever on it. We got to get through this a little quicker so we can get to the great meat and potatoes here. Go ahead, Ryan. Let's hear you read, Ryan.
You don't take forever, Kyle. You're the one that always.
Sayers, you heard him. We got to get to the great meat.
Come
on, Ryan. Just read, Ryan.
I don't feel like reading tonight. You should just put it in there for me for my previous one. But the Pick 6 segment is powered by Storied Rivals Sports Media. Championships, friendships, and life lessons are among the most meaningful parts of the athletic competition. We are passionate about preserving them by offering the most unique highlight experience available.
That's right. Storied Rivals delivers your team's content with services designed to change the way you experience these unforgettable moments now and for a lifetime. Storied Rivals now offers a complete team apparel and player shop customizable to your program. You can email them at info@storyrivals.com or reach out to any one of their social medias. Reach out to them, start setting up your player packages and team stores. Great stuff, great content, great program. Awesome trusted partner. Thank you, Aaron.
Coach, For you, I gotta ask you. I feel like New Lex is like a kind of a weird spot for me in Ohio. I feel like I've never been to New Lex for nothing. But what's like the most unique thing about New Lexington? Like, why New Lexington? Why do you love it there? Obviously, you got family there. Your wife's there, coaching volleyball too. So, like, why New Lex?
I don't know. It was just like I said, it was an opportunity. And this is where I think college football and football itself, a great thing that when I was at a national convention one year in Charlotte and I saw my college coaches there and they asked if I was interested in a job, and they had a former player that also played at West Lib that was on the hiring committee. So that kind of got an in where I had an opportunity to interview and got the job. But it's a real cool small town that cares a lot about its kids, its athletics, and I've got a great superintendent, and I think you guys and anybody that gets into coaching and teaching, your administration is what makes or breaks the job. Above all other things, in my opinion, that when you've got support from your admin and they look at athletics as an important part, I think that you're in a great spot and you should never look at any other thing. So I've got a superintendent that's a former football coach, which is huge. If you guys have never experienced that, that's great because he believes in what we want to do. I got a great principal, great AD, great assistant principal. Just the administrative trifecta is great. Like I said, great community that cares about its football. There was some great history here back in the 70s. There's been a couple different waves of good football, but
The number one food spot there, because I have
the pizza
no
place.
clue there.
It's got to be the pizza place. What it's called. That's not just a random thing. It's the pizza place. It's a hoopsie.
The pizza place. I like
Yeah.
that.
It's
I was
closed
waiting
on
for you to
Mondays.
say,
Don't go
like,
on
the
Monday.
pizza place.
Time out. Is it literally called the pizza place?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's good. The pizza place. It's nice. My kid says there's the pizza shop.
Are they the only pizza shop?
No, we've got Pizza Huts. We've got a couple of drive-throughs, which is kind of weird to me that you'd get pizza in a drive-through, but whatever. It's Ohio. But pizza place is the spot. If I'm getting a pizza, I'm going to call up and I'm going to a hoopsie, a pizza place.
I love it.
Extra sauce. Half the extra, add the extra sauce.
No hiding what they are.
Coach, you've been at 2 coaching stops, right? From what it sounds like since you graduated. What in those about 11 years total coaching?
2 years as an assistant and then 4 and Seth, 14. My math's good.
What's
nice
been
job, Diamond? We're gonna put the Miami education to use. Can't even do some simple math.
Marketing major, not a math guy. What's been the most impactful time, right? If there was a season or even a cycle in that 14 years, what's been the most impactful time for you in your coaching journey?
Man, I think there's a lot. I told you my first stop, man, when I got there, they were 0-10 the year before, had not won in almost 2 years. And so the first win we got that first year was wild. And I think we stayed in the parking lot for 3 hours and just hung out because the kids were singing and dancing, just so excited that they finally got to experience what that was like. And again, just the power of sports and athletics that they were winners that night, whether they were the star or they were a part of it. And then the other one that really comes to mind is when COVID hit. Now, we had the COVID season and we had all the regulations and stuff. And before I got married and had all that, I lived in a little church apartment. It was another weird story for another time. But we had a kid test positive after we got spanked by Ironton in the second round of the playoffs that year when they let everybody in. And so we drove back 3.5 hours and then found out our starting running back had COVID, or they thought he had COVID. So half the team at that point was flagged. And so we couldn't have our last 2 games of the season. And then 8 players showed up on my church doorstep and just were at a loss for words of, man, like, Coach, I don't know what to do. Man, this is it for me. Those seniors that lost their opportunity to play those last games, and that's only my second year here. But to feel like you have that special place in those guys' hearts that want to come and talk to you in that moment of what seems like a crisis for them at that time, but not nearly the crisis they're going to face in life later. But for them, that was a hard moment. And to come to you as the football coach that you've been with them for a year or 2 years, like that was something that I think it's the bigger picture that we sometimes forget about. It's not always about the X and O's, the plays, the schemes, the this, the that. It's that impact that we're having on those guys, and they looked up to you as a role model.
Coach, this warm weather's got me in my summer vibes. What's a big to-do for you this summer, or something maybe you're looking forward to?
Stay away from sunburn, man. I got a light skin. Son and we don't get along so well. I could just maybe avoid a sunburn this summer. That'd be top notch. But the little guy, he's almost 1. We usually go to the beach, but we're not going to go to the beach this summer. We had a spring break trip we took to Pigeon Forge. Just this and that. Just getting ready for ball and some volleyball, some football. And like I said, avoiding the sunburn more than anything. But I don't really have summer plans, man. I'm not a summer guy.
Did you go eat that Old Mill restaurant there?
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, great business.
Good restaurant.
Yes, so good.
Oh, yeah. That's a spot.
I like that. Coach, I don't know if you're familiar with some of the questions that I get to ask each week, and this one was put in by one of my students for this week. So this one's a unique one.
Okay.
Would you rather never shower again the rest of your life, or never be able to brush your teeth and wear deodorant again the rest of your life?
Ooh.
I think I'd rather never shower. I just feel like having that bad taste in your mouth all the time and tasting that, I think that would be very tough versus you could always spray cologne or perfume, but that wasn't left off the table. So I feel like I maybe found a loophole there, but I definitely wouldn't want to taste my mouth after not having brushed them forever.
I felt like, he left the door open, like you can jump in the pool or something.
Yeah.
But that's a good answer, Coach.
That was what I
Way
said.
to really think through that, Ryan. You left a lot of loopholes in that. Really,
Sorry. I hope I didn't cheat there.
really hard to poke a lot of holes in that one.
It was that was a good one. Everyone was that was a hyped up one.
Yeah.
Coach, my second question for you. I'm a huge NFL draft fan, but people were putting this with lists and stuff. They were going through, they were counting it as like a true sporting event, and they were going through ranking the favorite sporting events, Stanley Cup Finals, NBA Finals, Super Bowl, you name it. What is your favorite sporting event? Between Masters, Stanley Cup Finals, you name it.
Oh, that's a good question. During season, it's not a lot of football. Like football is easy one because you watch that, but I just feel like any postseason stuff with any sport, I really don't have a sport that I'm consistently watching. A lot of Bluey. You ever seen Bluey?
Yeah.
It's good stuff. So I'm a big fan of
Bingo. Oh,
We
yeah.
love that. Love
yeah.
that.
Bluey we're good with. We started watching a little bit of Pokemon, try to get involved in some of that stuff, but we watch a lot of Bluey. I really like Pass the Parcel, but in Australian. But I don't know. Super Bowl, national championship, I think I prefer college to pro. I used to be real big in March Madness. I don't think I watched a single game this year. Just priorities, life kind of change, and TV gets occupied by the youngest set of eyes, not mine anymore.
I don't even listen to music anymore. I'm my daughter's DJ every morning, like whatever she wants to listen to. It's been K-pop and Who Let the Dogs Out and all types of stuff.
Yes.
But Donovan's weird, man. Donovan, they're going to be that parents that don't let their kid watch TV till like they're 13. I'm already getting that vibe, Donovan. I already know.
I mean, 13's a little aggressive. We don't let her watch the TV now. She's 6 months.
Can't watch anything.
She sees that TV and her eyes just light up. I'm like,
Dude,
not yet.
You get Miss Rachel on there. I'm telling you,
I've heard that one. One of my buddies said that's good.
Yeah, Miss
stuff.
Rachel.
Age appropriate stuff.
Kid's like 8. No TV. I got the last one. Here we go. Coach, it's been a favorite for me this season. What's a unique tradition or something special about your program that outsiders maybe don't know about?
For the 50th time. Good thought. Way to think through that one, Kyle.
I don't know, but that's a good one. That's something that's coming in and having a lot of new staff. Like there's not I don't know if there's a huge major tradition. I would say the biggest one that we have that's been maintained is the Thursday night before our big rivalry Week 10 game. We have a steak dinner. We have our team meals every week, but for that one game that year, we have a steak dinner. We bring back a speaker, a former coach, former player that talks to the kids, and so that's a bigger deal. So I would say that's
got money out there. Steak dinners.
Football moms take care of it. We raise money. We do fundraisers and stuff. Just steaks and chicken. There's a little bit of chicken. I don't like steaks, so I eat some chickens.
I'll be honest. I'm not familiar with you. If you guys even have money, if you guys have tractors, trailers, I don't know what it is out there.
You got the pizza place. It's good.
The pizza place.
I feel like I'm gonna have to just go there now for the pizza place.
Yes, get it.
We'll take a little road trip.
Yes.
The pizza spot. I love it.
Place, not spot.
Spot. There we go. Place.
Hey, not
Place.
spot. Are you okay?
It's clearly time to get to the main topic. Let's do this.
Yeah.
All right, main topic tonight is really all about Coach Board's program, diving a little bit of the offense, but really just the new Lexington system, right? So, of course, the main topic of tonight's show is powered by First Down Playbook. First Down Playbook is the nation's leading playbook and play design software with over 35,000 professionally drawn, editable team plays with notes and full playbooks. Start from, be on your way to getting an edge over the competition. First Down Playbook can be your entire team management system with practice schedules, scripts, custom quarterback wristbands, and more. The code headsets26 or just mentioning our show gets you 15% off what's already the most affordable option in today's game. It's only April. You got plenty of time to look at your needs and see if this system would fit. And I promise you it likely would for your program and your community. But Coach, diving in a little bit, right? So with your program, with your scheme, if we start with your offense and offensive scheme, right? If we were new to your program, new to your scheme, we were watching film, what's the first thing we would notice about your offense? What's the unique things that we'll see from the new Lexington offense?
I would just say wide open. I think I've thought about this a little bit and how to explain it, but I would say wide open. We're going to utilize big splits with our receivers, so we're going to play numbers to numbers. We're going to make you cover all the field. Our offensive line, which I'm sure we'll talk about, they use 5-foot splits. We're big up front and our width between guys. We're not afraid to do some exotic and unconventional things. We've done double passes, lots of trick plays, hooks and ladders. There's nothing that's off the table. So I think that I would just say wide open. We do a lot of different things. We play up tempo and go really fast. And like I said, we're going to try to play on the entire width of the field to make sure that we have some advantages somewhere.
Do you do 5-foot splits between every alignment or just between like tackle guard?
All of them. I'll send you a screenshot of what it's beautiful in my opinion, but it's not for everybody. It's worked for us. I think it's really good because it creates some natural running lanes. That's going to create some natural throw lanes. And then if we get pressure, the quarterback has some nice, beautiful lanes that he can escape from. And he's got good throwing lanes too, because you're creating space between all those down defenders.
Talk to us a little bit about these big splits. Like, what's like your base core run game? What do you hang your hat on?
We're inside zone base. We're very simple with our run scheme. Inside, outside zone, and a little bit of GH counter. Very little bit. We used to pull and not block anybody, so that wasn't really a good play for us. But we've gotten better at it. But we're inside zone. We're not a whole lot of now with the width. We're not getting a lot of double teams. It's a lot. It turns on to just singles but we're getting natural lanes.
Okay.
That's where we're at. It's just getting downhill and a lot of singles. Occasionally we'll get some doubles, like we'll get a slam down into a nose and then climb to second level. But we're trying to get downhill right now. And the beauty is that we actually had to play last year. We didn't even read anybody. We got away from reading. We started getting 5-man boxes because of some of the stuff we were doing in our pass game. And so we just went a hat for a hat, what we call cat. Everybody's got a cat. And if you necessarily don't get a great push by everybody, you're creating different levels of the offense and defense. So you're creating seams for that running back with that. I'm a big Mike Leach guy. I was a huge fan of his. And we always talked about putting that best pass rush of the defensive end farther from the quarterback with those bigger splits. So that's, I think, where it stems from. Then I can widen them out a little bit further because I just felt like, man, let's get those guys as far away. So if we can't block them, at least they got to go for a long time to get to us.
I got to take a peek at this because I've seen the wide splits where it's 3 to 4, but 5 all the way across is pretty interesting.
They sometimes cheat. I have to constantly tell them to widen back out. My O-line coach would like to close them closer to 3, but they said I think there's value to it. And they said it just when we play a lot of 3-man fronts, they have rules. So they're not saying I got to be 5 yards from the center or 5 feet from the center. I got to be head up on the tackle. So if we widen the tackle all the way out, those guys are further away. They said it's been good for us. I think it's part of our identity of what we get. It's one of the questions I get a lot of. Can you tell me about those splits that you have?
Like from a defensive perspective, Coach, do a lot of teams switch up what they do defensively then when they come into play against you guys when they see those big splits?
Not really, because we do play with a lot of tempo. Like I said, we're very fast. I would say we're probably the fastest team in our league, with snapping the ball as quick as we can after the play is dead, just to try to keep those defenses vanilla as we possibly can when you're not getting an exotic call. There's been some teams that have checked or blitzed the formation based on our running back, so we had to adjust and make some plays off of that, some twists. But really the biggest thing we had a team last year, they played man against us thinking that it would help with man-to-man. They kind of loaded the box up on us, but not really. We don't see a ton more pressure. I've been blessed to have a lot of quarterbacks that are mobile, so we don't get a ton of pressures. If you pressure us and we're already wider than you, then you're giving that guy a pretty easy run lane too.
Coach, you mentioned about simplicity. I imagine playing fast, big splits, simplicity is probably a key somewhat, at least to your players. It's something simple for them. So what's simplicity look like for you? What makes a cut? What doesn't? Are you a coach that has a certain number of concepts or a certain number of calls on your call sheet?
Yeah, so we've probably got like 18 to 20 like true plays. Like I want to be as simple as we possibly can for the offensive line. I want those guys to be able to run. We have 3 run scheme. We got inside zone, outside zone, and we have our counter scheme that we run a little bit out of. So that's really and I think it's how you teach it. Like we teach those front side double teams from counter as like it's inside zone. We're just stepping our zone steps and washing down. We'll do some things off of that makes it different. but it's for those guys up front, it's the same. So when I'm talking run schemes, like we have a handful of different ones, but it's the same run scheme. Like our outside zone, we'll run jet and we'll run like a toss. For us, it's still outside zone for the offensive line. We've got about 20 concepts, but we're going to formation you to death and try to find a way to create a mismatch somewhere. We do some unbalanced stuff, some wide receiver over stuff. But like I said, with tempo, I think it helps to take away from what you're looking at, and it doesn't look as simple on the surface. But for our guys, it's just a tag that changes one guy, but it's the same general concept.
Coach, you're talking about like tempo and going fast and stuff. I feel like that gets us right into our next part about the feed the cats and stuff. Isn't that is that more of your philosophy that you're using? Do you use that all off season, all season? Like, how do you use that then? What does that kind of look like for you guys?
Yeah, I've been tempo since I started. I just felt like it was something that added another thing, another layer to you that you can't see on film. So when you show up and they're going no huddle and fat, like there was teams we were playing in the playoffs a couple years ago. It's like they hadn't seen anybody run tempo before, and they were gassed by the end of the second quarter, and we still had a half to go just because of the pace at which we were playing. So that was something that I just kind of developed early on. I just felt like that was a way that we could take it over again, a program that was 0-10. Let's hang our hat on being the fastest team that we possibly can, and let's take advantage of teams not being able to run with our athletes and doing some of those things. The feed the cat stuff came into play a little bit later and really hot and heavy this past year. But that's not so much the tempo which we play with feeding the cats. It's just the mentality behind of how we're doing everything that we're doing and what the priorities and stuff are.
I talk about it like it. There's probably somebody listening right now that has no idea what feed the cats is. It's like a let's roll it back. Like, Coach, like I hate to put you on the spot, but you have to be the expert for feed the cats right now. Tell us what is feed the cats? I don't know a whole much more about it other than I know it puts a premium rest and like maximum output and some different things, but just give us the feed the cats 101.
All right, I'll try to do my best. It was the philosophy developed by Tony Holler. He's a track guru. I think he's in the Hall of Fame and he coached track. He just recently retired, and he's been doing a lot of stuff with track and with football. When I was coaching track at my last school, I found him on Twitter and was asking him some things about track. So then I started following him, and then I started seeing him talk about some of this stuff. So I kind of looked into it, delved into it, didn't really utilize some of it, but he started tying it all together. He has a track football consortium every year. So think about our state clinic. He has a sprint-based football clinic every year. It's usually around state championship time, but you hit the nail on the head. So the thought is that he wanted to train his guys like they were cats. So cats are going to lay around a lot of the time, but when it's time to go, and they can jump and bound and leap and run and do all that stuff. So he wanted to attract more kids to his track program. He couldn't do that by grinding and running them into the ground. So he was trying to, for track, hey, listen, we're going to do a short practice. You're going to be out of here in 30 minutes. We're going to get the most out of it. Like you said, maximum output with a lot of rest in between. And so the theory is that you're going to make it as short as sweet as possible, right? You're going to sprint based. So you're going to sprint. You're going to time those sprints. You're going to maximize your rest and recovery between that stuff. So you can't train speed if you're tired. So we want to try to get all our kids fast as we can. And the theory was, if I can get every kid on my team 1 mile per hour faster from beginning to end, we just got a lot faster. And when you're training speed, you're training your speed reserve, you're training your speed capacity, you're stacking your anaerobic work to create an aerobic base. So all that means is that you're playing yourself into shape by using the game. And they're going to spend their time playing the game and practicing the skills, not mindless conditioning. So eliminate conditioning, focus and prioritize your speed, rest, and recovery, and make practice the best part of a kid's day. He's got a lot of one-liners and cliches that I'll probably throw in here every now and again just because I've heard them so many times. But it's just a philosophy that I think is easily adoptable. I think it made drastic changes for us this past year as we really, really dove into it. Like when you touch your toe in the pool, when you're trying to see it, is it hot, is it cold? We dipped our toe in stuff a little bit the year before, but this year we made a conscious effort that, listen, we're going to go all in on this. We got GPS units to track and monitor our guys' load and to see what it is that they were doing in a day. And so I saw Tony speak in Pittsburgh last March, not this March, up at a Glacier clinic, and man, I was just blown away when he was talking, and just everything he talked about, it just made so much sense. And to me, like, if something makes sense, okay, like, I need to consider it. And so he talked a lot about when you love something, you're going to go all in for it. And that's why a lot of us got into the coaching part, right? Because we love the game. And then you go to a practice where there's no love involved. It's grinding. It's let's run these kids' tails off and let's do this. And grind is the word, where you're continuously breaking things down into smaller pieces. And so it was getting rid of the grind, finding a way to make practice the best part of a kid's day, and doing some other things. But I can get into some of the finer details. I feel like I'm going to end up just rambling on and on because there's just so many things that it kind of entails. But there's a way to break it down to about 3 or 4 key points.
I love it. Let's go in, because I know there's a lot of coaches that are looking at it, hearing of it. Coach Varney, I know he's big into it. He's been on the show before. A couple questions come to mind. Before I forget about it, you said you're wearing some of the wearable technology, right? Seeing it. So talk to me how that changes. Let's say, hey, you're one of your really good players. You notice data kicks back. Hey, this kid ran way over what we want in a day, or output looks crazy. How do you come back the next day and you cut his reps, or how does that impact what you do with that player?
Yeah, so we changed our practice model last year to help with that. The idea, and it comes from a guy named Charlie Francis, the history behind him. So it's all about your CNS, and right, and how you're taxing a kid's nervous system. It's not necessarily the time that you're there, but the high intensity stuff that you're doing that's really taxing to them. Sprinting is the highest taxing thing you can do to your nervous system, right? The very first thing we're going to do on Monday after a weekend off is we're going to come in and we're going to sprint. And we're going to time those sprints. We're going to post those times so kids can see what their times are. We're going to yell out when they get their PRs. And so that's going to drive them to want to get better and want to do better. And so those times, if you're not within 90% of what your true PR is, you probably either didn't get enough rest, didn't get enough sleep, or you're not healthy as what you should be. So there's guys last year, they were running. So say when we're clocking a fly 10 and a kid's typically a 1.2, which is, it's okay. Some of my faster guys are like 0.99, 0.99, some are like 1.02. Like those are my fast kids. So if a kid's 1.2, it's average speed. But if he comes in and clocks like a 1.45, that tells me that there's an alert. And so I have my computer out there and I'm typing in these times, and I see that time pop up like, something's not good. And so I talked to him, hey, you all right? And I didn't get to bed until 2 o'clock last night. I'm tired. And so we're going to try to modify that practice a little bit for him. We usually time 2 to 3 sprints. So if I see that first one, he's already low, I'm not going to time another one for him. I kick him out of that and know that, hey, he's not going to be at his best today. And then we'll come back on Tuesday and we'll have a low CNS day. So we used to be, Monday was an offensive day, Tuesday defense, Wednesday both, plus special teams, Thursday run through, Friday game. This past year we went to Tuesday was our fundamental day for us, helmets only. We're doing a lot of walkthrough. So we're recovering from that sprint day, our offensive day, which is a heavy load day for us, to let those kids recover, right? So you think about your most taxing day of a week is going to be your Friday, right? Your game day, right? Most people aren't going to come in and have another hard day right after that Friday game because your kids are beat up, they're tired. Right. So the same thing with practice, we're not going to come back on Tuesday and have a real big day knowing that we just taxed them a lot on Monday. So Tuesday, we did a whole lot of walkthrough and just helmets, a lot of technique and fundamentals, not a lot of like banging, not a lot of like far sprints, not a one-on-one, 7-on-7 type stuff, a lot of individual where you're walking through some stuff and then correcting some things from the game or Friday. And then we come back on Wednesday and have our defensive day, which was another high day because we're running our team D. We're doing some other things. So we throw the shoulder pads back on, and then we go through our normal D day. Thursday, our run through, which is a lower day, and then Friday is our game.
What would you say some of the bigger challenges that you've seen with this, or even maybe challenges people might not understand, just look at surface level?
So I think that if you want to boil it down to its root and like how, because I talked with some coaching buddies and this is something that I got really high on last year. And I sent my running back coach down the rabbit hole, and he's deeper in that rabbit hole than I can't even pull him out at this point. He's all in on it and further and like, hey, did you see this? Like, no, I didn't see that. I watched Bluey last night. I didn't get a chance to read that article that you sent yesterday or that 30-minute audible that you sent that I don't have to drive and listen to. But so I started talking to some of my coaching friends that I meet with every year on Martin Luther King Day, and they were like interested in hearing about this. And so I was trying to like, how can I boil this down to the real root? And I think that it's timing, max sprints 1 or 2 times a week, where you're really pushing the tempo and pushing those kids to be faster. The thought is, if I'm fast, I'm still going to be fast in the fourth quarter. And if I can raise the speed of all my guys, right, I think that you look at, you got big, you got strong, you got fast. Those are like the 3 main characteristics of football players, right, for the most part. Right, they're big players, strong players, fast players. Right, I think that speed is a huge piece. That if you can outrun a lot of people and they have no answer for catching you once you break through, I think that's huge. Like you can still play with a big team if you're fast, right? But I think speed is just an outlier that if you don't have it, man, it's tough to play against it. And so we really wanted to push that. So I had a kid last year. He was a first-team All-Ohio linebacker, was a 3-year leading tackler for us, led it all 4 years. When we started timing him in June running these, and so we were running a fly 10, and then we'd time a 40. We timed twice a week, every week, all season long, playoffs, everything. And by the end of the season in October, he had hit 1.4 miles per hour faster than his starting time. So he had raised his miles per hour almost 2 from start of the season to the end of the season. He had gotten faster. And that came because we weren't grinding and we weren't doing all the conditioning at the end of practice. He was fresh. He was coming back. He felt better. And talking to our kids at the end of the year that had been with us years prior, like, how did you feel this year compared to other years? I said, I felt so much more fresh going into Friday. And that to me was another big message from him, was like, we want to maximize ourselves on Fridays, right? If we're beat up because we went so hard Monday through Thursday, how can we be fresh and fast and play our best football on Friday? You can't. That's what really opened my eyes when we started looking at that GPS data. It was just me that was looking at it. I'd send it out to the kids at Warren just so they could look at it. But seeing the numbers, and like when we first started, we did a 7-on-7 at Westerville Central, and it's like the miles that those kids tracked in that day was crazy. So I would ask you, like, how many miles do you think a kid gets on a Friday night for you? Not knowing any data or how it's tracked or anything like that, just guess.
7 miles.
Yeah, there's say 6 or 7.
That's pretty good. Seriously.
Still hip with it.
Yeah. So our top receiver last year, yardage wise, he was a two-way guy. Week 13 in the playoffs, he had 6.9 miles. But he's playing on Friday. Think about it, like the load that you're putting on him during the week. Like, how can he be fresh to run 7 miles on Friday if you're getting all that mileage during the week? So that was something I was really looking at, was I want to make sure that our load was Monday through Thursday was equal together cumulatively to what it would be on a Friday, right? So I don't want to run 4 to 5 miles on Wednesday if I know he's going to run 7 on Friday. So it was, and this is where I've got to get better and where we have to get better as a staff, because like I said, last year was the first year of just tracking it and then being able to adapt. But there were days where he was hitting 2 and 3 miles, and that was pretty standard. Now, that's not the only metric that we were looking at. A lot of it was the load, which is a different metric that it popped out. But that was, like I said, it was crazy to think about, like a kid's running 7 miles on a Friday. And then it really helped with, we got to be able to find ways to get this kid breaks so that way he's not running that, because that's the first thing I look at when I'm scouting a team is how many two-way guys they have. And then if they have more than that, man, we're going to push the tempo, we're going to go fast, and we're going to try to play as many one-way guys as we can and take advantage of our depth and wear these guys out.
Coach, you mentioned Tony Holler, right, which is obviously probably the best source to go to, but what's maybe another source if there's a coach listen to it, is interested, trying it, like where do they start with this?
I'd be happy to help in any way that I can. I'm certainly not the expert, but I'd be happy to connect and do all that with you guys. Brad Dixon is another name. That's one of his founding fathers, I believe is what he refers them to, is his Mount Rushmore of Feed the Cats guys. Brad Mueller is another guy, and they talk about the record that they have. These guys, that since they implemented this, the wins that they have, it's crazy, the win percentage and how it's went up from where it was. But those are two really good guys with a lot of resources that are football guys that are utilizing this and have been since the beginning.
Coach, for you guys, obviously that's to keep your players fresh. You do no weekend meetings. Would you say that's to keep your coaches fresh too? How did that come about?
Yeah, that was a big part, man. And that started a couple years back, man. My first couple years, I was bringing all these guys in because I was tired of breaking down 3 scout films and our own film, and I was the only one typing everything. This was before Huddle Assist took over. So I was doing all, I was like, man, like, by the time I get done with that, like, there's my weekend. I didn't get anything done. And that's not even just watching film. That's just coding it all. And then, so I was like, then I started bringing my assistants in. And so we're all sitting in a room, all typing on different computers. And then we had issues because if he was typing, it was messing up what I was typing. And again, Huddle's come a long way since then. But my first couple of years here in New Lex, I felt like we were having meetings to have meetings. And there was a lot of BS that was just talked about. There was one coach that was more worried about the Browns game and what was going on, or the Bengals, and so that was the talk over top of, hey, what do we want to do against this front this week? So I felt we were having these meetings, and it just felt like it was more of we had to do it because we had to do it. And I think that the older generation of coaches, like before Huddle, they had to go and get the film. They had to come back and watch the film and break the film, write it all down. Like, it was a much more tedious and time-consuming process. And then guys that came up under them, like, they learned it from them. And so they learned, hey, I got to be here. My high school, they were from 8 a.m. to whatever on Saturday. Then they come back in on Sunday and 8 till whenever they got out. I just met with
Kyle was used to that. He used to have to drive and go pick them films up.
Oh, man.
Well, I was a heck coach. I didn't do any driving. The assistants did. But I do know the old, we'll meet at the McDonald's off route exit, blah, blah, blah. I'm in a red car. Yeah, I remember. It was quite a different time. You're getting the DVDs, and thankfully I felt fortunate enough. That was one of the first things I did was I got our team huddle, was to try to get to this new age of stuff. We still meet on Sundays, and I feel the pain about guys wanting to watch their Commanders games and everything else.
Don't know who the Commanders are. The Redskins are a great watch on Sundays.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm in the same boat as you. Like I realized the same thing, that I feel like it was more or less when like I had kids too. It's me and my wife, obviously during football season, we don't get to spend much time together. We don't get to see the kids that much together either. And so Sunday, we stopped having weekend meetings as well. We really bring the kids in only Saturday for the JV game in the morning. We don't even meet as coaches at that. It's go out there. We rarely watch that game day film too. If our kids come in, it's get a lift in, go ahead and watch and support your JV guys, get a run in. And Sunday we're completely off, and it's been really beneficial for our coaches. And I will say it's been beneficial for myself at the end of the year compared to when my first 2 years we were meeting 7 days a week. We were.
Yeah. So here's the question. You got me right. I started out like that, right, Donnie? You remember that, Donnie?
Yeah.
What do you do, though, when you go to have these virtual meetings or you're not in place or you do something, then you just feel like you're talking to a wall or your guys don't know what they're doing? How do you combat that? I will say it's gotten better. We've tried to make Sundays have turned into more of a family environment for us where
the in-person is better.
And food. And I from our staff dynamic, we cap it. Like, we're not there all night. Like, it's a reasonable time. But I just found that, like, our group, it has worked better bringing everybody in, and everybody knows what needs to be done by then. And we have a digital thing people do over the weekend too, but it just works better. Like, when we try to do it virtual or not meet, like, the ideas didn't flow the same.
You couldn't draw stuff up as you needed to.
The collaboration wasn't there. And then I felt like we were getting into game week and everybody was on the same page as much. So I'm listening. I'm all ears. Maybe it's just my guys.
I think that everywhere is going to be a little different, man. I think that every staff is a little different dynamic. When I first got here, there were some older guys on staff that technology was not their friend.
Yeah.
Since I've gotten here, I've been blessed, man. I've got a great staff, and I'm at 30. I think I'm 37, maybe. You lose track. I think I got my linebacker coach, my running back, and H-back coach. I got 3 coaches that are older than me. The rest of them are all young guys. 20s, and they're fresh, they're eager. So I think there's a level of trust first and foremost that's got to come, and understanding of, like, coach, you're taking over a new school this year. Like, his first year, it's going to be a little difficult versus if he was year 4 at his last school, because he knew those guys and knew the system. So we've been together for a few years, so I think there's that level of trust and understanding. But I just felt, man, like, we're wasting so much time. But I had a coach that was driving from Zanesville 45 minutes. And I had a coach driving from Lancaster, which to me should be Lancaster. I don't know why it's called Lancaster, but whatever.
I agree.
That was 45 minutes. So it's like I have 2 guys driving 45 minutes one way to maybe have a 30-minute meeting to drive back home 45 minutes, because I just felt, man, like, huddle's digital. We all have computers. Why do I need you to come in and all of us be together and watch the film? Because as the OC, if I'm watching the play, I'm watching one thing. My O-line coach is watching something completely different. So if I'm going back 3 times to rewatch a concept or a coverage or whatever, and then he's zoned out, man. Like, he ain't paying attention because he saw what he needed to see. And so we're watching the same film, but we're looking for very different things. And I just felt, man, like, we're wasting time doing this. And this was before I had kids. As some of those older guys, man, hey, we're going to go to the zoo today because I work a 9 to 5, and then I come here and whatever. And, like, those weekend days are all that I have. And so it opened up my eyes to what life was going to be like with kids. And so knowing that a lot of my guys are on site. We got 3 weddings in the next 2 years, assistant coaches. So a lot of these guys are going to start getting into that phase. And I think when they hear some of these other staffs talk about the time that they're spending there, they're like, man, I appreciate you not making me come in for all that. But so I felt like all the things we were talking about in a meeting were things that we could do on our own and we could collaborate on. So we started out with a program that's called Slack. We've gotten away from that, but it was kind of like a Google Doc essentially. So everybody could go on there and type, and I was like a thread, and it's just became, we have an offensive group chat on text, defense, and I'm in both, and we do a lot of communication there. Offense more than defense. Defense never wants to talk. I get a sounds good, a thumbs up, and then my other coach, he has 300 unread text messages. I know what I'm getting with those guys. It's crazy. I don't want to talk about it.
That's the same as us as well, coach. Offense always wants to bounce ideas off, and defense is a little different. But I think, like, for me, I'm in a similar boat as you, coach. Is like, I just give trust into my guys. Like I'm super heavily involved in the defense. I've called it the last 6 years. This year, I'm giving it up to Coach Steph, like our guy that's been with me in Northland as well. He's like my box guy. He's going to completely call it this year, but I'll be heavily involved. But we have group messages separated. But also, I do think this year you made a good point. It might be a little different. We might meet Saturday or Sunday as we're trying to learn these teams that we're playing in this new league that we're not familiar with as well. But at the same time, I think that, like, I'm bringing in my offensive coordinator that's been with me. I'm bringing in my defensive guy that's been with me. The guys that are new to staff, they just got to get used to our staff. We're bringing 6 guys over that are used to how we operate, what we do. And then the 3 other guys, we're just keeping on so they understand the league. But yeah, I feel like I try to give my guys as much time on the weekends as I possibly can, because at the same time, I want that as well to be able to spend time with my kids and my wife.
Yeah, and everybody's got a different schedule. I know some of my guys, they want to go watch the Buckeyes because we're like, New Lex is the hub of Columbus, Ohio Buckeye football. Like that, it's it, man. Like we've moved basketball games sometimes because the Buckeyes are playing a playoff football game. It's crazy. So some guys want to go and watch that. Some guys are Bengals, Browns guys. So everybody's got a little different weekend schedule. So it was tough to try to find a time with. I'm blessed. I do have one coach on each side of the ball. Like nobody's coaching both sides, which is good for a small school. That's crazy good. So they're focused on just that one thing. And so I've taken a sheet that I found online. I didn't love it, and so I just reworked it to what I felt was good. And then I took the highest IQ player I've ever seen in my entire life, my inside linebacker is going to be a senior. I said, hey, look at this and tell me what other information you feel like you want to know so that I can give you a one-page snapshot into this team we're looking at. We actually had a team we played this past year left their scouting report and their game plan in the press box. And it's like I open up, it's like there's a 10-page manual for just their defensive stuff, like what they're trying to do for us versus our offense. And I'm thinking, there's no way a kid can remember all that. It's information overload. And I think that so I try to streamline it and let's get the kids the need to know stuff. And I'd be happy to share that form with you guys and you could take a look at it. But to me, I felt like it was the same questions we were answering in our meetings, but it was also helping my young position coaches learn how to watch film. My wide receiver coach, I didn't want you to watch the game. I want you to watch what their secondary is doing. I want you to tell me what their base coverages are, who their best tackler is, who their best cover guy is. My D-line guys, just watching their offensive line. Hey, who's the guy we want to blitz at? Where can we get after him in the pass pro? And those types of things. So each position coach is watching the position they're coaching against, and they're scouting those guys, and they're giving their position group a little snapshot on this one-page document of here's their guys, here's their stud, here's the weak link, here's what they do well. And then I give them a couple lines where they could just give some general information about the group and what they need to focus on for the week. Something that we've been doing is for defense, I'll put the screenshot of what each formation is, and we'll talk about here's the tendencies of all those. You can look at the screenshot from Huddle, what it looks like. I said, I just went to a clinic this past weekend in Wadsworth, and they did that offense. It was like, shoot, that makes a lot of sense. I should show my guys what trips is going to look like when they're defending it. So instead of wasting a 5-minute walkthrough period on it, they can take a look, and it's already been there. So I just felt like that was an easy way, and then I'll take that form, offense and defense, and I'll upload it to Google Classroom. So I tell the coach, you got to have it done by 3 p.m. on Sunday. I don't care if you do it Saturday. I don't care if you do it Sunday. But it has to be done by Sunday at 3 p.m. so that I can get practice plans ready for the week, get practice scripts ready for the week, and I can send it out to the kids so that they can take a look at it before they come in on Monday, because I want them to have time to themselves. I want coaches to want to coach for a long time, because at a small school, being at a smaller school, like it's a lot of guys do a lot of things. My HVAC coach is the head wrestling coach. So like he goes right from football into wrestling season. I have 2 guys that are 3-sport coaches. So if I'm asking them to be a football coach 7 days a week from July, August until November, they're going to burn themselves out, and eventually they're going to look to get out of something. So it was to give coaches time back for their families and for themselves, but also to give kids some time too. Like I think sometimes we think we just got to do more, and that's another philosophy with the Feed the Cat stuff is simplicity and the Pareto principle. 80% of what we do, or 20% of what you do, is going to get you 80% of your results. And so focus on that small stuff, not the big picture all the time.
Coach, last question, right? You've been building a successful program, and a lot of coaches have ideas about program alignment. Like, just real quick, how do you make sure you align all your programs together? But then more important, I think the hardest part is like, how do you maintain it and keep it going. I think as varsity coaches, we do good stuff in the off season, building alignment, and then you get busy in the season. So what do you do? How do you maintain it?
It took a couple years because when I first got here, that was a priority. But I didn't get here until July or June one year, so my first year, and then COVID layover, and then a brand new coach. So it was like year 4 or 5 before I could really start getting into. Man, we need to revamp our youth program a little bit. And so this past year, we had a program clinic where we brought in all of our Biddy League coaches, our middle school coaches, as many high school coaches as could be there. And we just talked about program alignment. And we looked at, hey, since I've been here, this is what our record is in the league. We're right here. We're placing the league in wins over this span. How can we make that jump up into that top tier? How can we close the gap between the 2 big dogs in our league and get up there? And I think it's by creating a program that's from top to bottom, one program, not 3 different teams and levels. And we've started doing that and then talking about those core philosophies that we have. I've got our Biddy League, their first week of football is conditioning week. It's like they're 5 and 6 years old. They got plenty of energy. They can run all day. Like trying to eliminate that where it's got to be fun. They've got to enjoy what they're doing. You got to focus on development and keeping them out. And so we talk a lot about that and try to get our core philosophies down. Like what we do offensively is not feasible at 3rd and 4th grade. So what we did is we started a flag football program too. So our numbers in our Biddy League were going down. It was free for all our kids. Our school fronted it the first year. They paid for all the balls, all the flags. Up until this year, they were able to buy the jerseys as well, but we're going to do some fundraising. Our guys are going to take care of that. So last year we had 200 kids involved in our flag football league, K through 8, boys and girls, just trying to get kids involved with football and get them interested. That if they can come out and do that and meet our players who are their coaches, then they're building relationships and we're getting those kids to come out later. We're a D4 school. We'll have a roster of 70 kids this year. And I think that's because of some of the things that we're doing to make it attractive and to get kids out. But just continuously trying to open up that door. And, man, how can I help you? Here's some things we do. Here's what I'd like to see you guys do. But what is it that you need from us? And having that open door for those guys to come to our practices, watch them, see what it looks like, and then realize that our job is, man, we're teachers and coaches. We're coaching kids. It's not football. It's kids. And we've got to build that relationship with those guys and make them want to be a part of it. There's so many things in the world right now they could be doing that if we can keep them in football, I think that we'll be in a great place.
Coach, man, we appreciate you a ton, man, coming on here. We know you've been supported for a while now, and we just appreciate you and what you're doing as well and all the information you shared with us. I know this one's going to be super informative for all of our listeners, man. And we just want to tell you listeners as well, thank you guys. And next one's going to be episode 100. It's getting a little crazy out here. This has been a lot of episodes. I'm getting sick of seeing Kyle's face on this screen.
I was just going to give you a compliment. Now I can't. Yep. But, Coach, I appreciate, man. You brought up a lot of good stuff, and we talked about a lot of things. I think there's a lot of good nuggets, or at least some things that might challenge and make even some coaches think about maybe the way they're doing some things.
For sure. I appreciate you guys having me on, man. It's been fun. I always enjoyed talking a little ball, some things that we're doing.
Who you play first, Coach?
We play Fairfield Union week 1. It's been a nice
Money in the bank, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Good luck to you guys this year.
Appreciate
All
it.
right,
Coach.
you too.
Yep.
Thank you, Coach.